Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations is a great gateway into the world of fighting games. As with previous games in the Storm series, Generations' core combat mechanics are accessible enough for a large audience to easily enjoy while still rewarding practice and proficiency. These games have a beautiful visual style and an aggressive combat rhythm uniquely their own. But while the core mechanics remain intact, Generations loses a few additional features found in its predecessors and offers shallow alternatives. Matches in Generations are fought between two opponents until one side runs out of health. The face buttons control attacking, dashing, throwing shurikens, and manipulating chakra. Chakra is the currency of special attacks and can be used in conjunction with any of the other three functions for enhanced results. For instance, chakra and attack together produces devastating special moves. From a mechanics perspective, these special moves are the main distinction between the game's playable characters. There's no need to master complex combo timing or study the particulars of a light punch versus a medium kick. The vast majority of fighters use the same style and tactics. Proficiency stems from mastering the fighting system rather than individual characters. Still, whether you're a novice or a veteran, the fights are a fast-paced free-for-all of fireballs, tidal waves, and more. The backbone of this game's combat system is the Substitution Technique, which lets a character teleport behind his or her attacker. This mechanic drives the entire flow of combat, which generally follows a rhythm of strike, teleport, etc. until one side cannot teleport further. The challenge is manipulating that flow so that your opponent exhausts all of his or her substitutions before you do the same. This gives the game an overwhelming focus on aggressive, rush-down tactics and doesn't leave much room for different fighting styles. The Substitution Technique receives some significant changes. It now has its own dedicated gauge that is divided into 4 sections. Each section affords one substitution and will refill automatically. These tweaks make each substitution extremely valuable and lower the skill barrier by de-emphasizing precise timing and focusing instead on resource management. They maintain the core strategy of substitutions while making the technique more accessible for a wider audience. Generations does a marvelous job of recreating the look and feel of the anime. The visual style is smooth and crisp with a high contrast art style that reflects the colorful look of the show. Each character's most powerful attacks also include swooping camera angles that highlight the devastation. Sadly, getting to these moments is needlessly steep since the game lacks a comprehensive tutorial. Diving into the training mode options menu reveals a command list with the game's most basic functions, but some of the finer points go completely unspoken. The narrative mode in Generations is dramatically different from previous games. What used to be a large, interactive world for players to explore has been reduced to a glorified arcade mode. The former was often bogged down with numerous, uninspired fetch quests, but here, it's been eliminated altogether. What could have been refined into a standout feature has been nixed entirely. Its replacement tells the story of the various Naruto characters through narration and stills that bookend each fight. While the single-player portion of Generations may have been lacking, the online portion is not. Across numerous matches of varying connection strengths, the game's performance is consistently excellent. There's hardly any noticeable lag or other connection issues. When playing in a group, spectating is available for the non-active players. Replay support is also included, letting players view and download replays of other matches. There isn't any way to filter these replays, which is unfortunate. Tweaks to the Substitution Technique, the combat mechanics in Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations feel better than ever. Still, this is ultimately just a minor refinement over the previous installments. Instead of further refining the epic cinematic events, rail shooting sequences, and other open-world elements from the previous Storm games, Generations leaves them on the cutting room floor with only the most basic of replacements. The game is still a solid fighter, but leaves you wanting more.
忍びに感情は不要。だが、どうやら俺も 無理だったようだ。